crossover time, like, crossover, basketball. Locked on Sooners, locked on UConn. Let's talk some ball.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Sooners and our special crossover edition, and thank you for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydays out there tuning in and subscribing to wherever you get your podcasts. We are free and available where any podcasts are, as well as here on YouTube. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you know when the next episode drops. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. We've got a special crossover episode, so let's jump right into it.
As I mentioned in the open, a special episode today. We bring to the program Jay Smith, Locked On Sooners co-host and host of Unfair Sports on YouTube and the Sooner or Later Sports Podcast. Let's bring him to the program now. Jay, I have to ask you one question. Like, when the brackets came out, what was the honest reaction? Was it like, oh man, we're playing UConn, or oh, okay, we're playing UConn? Like, what was, I'm always curious when people see the team they're going to play, what the first reaction was.
First, thank you, Mark, for having me to do the crossover. Appreciate you being flexible with time and making this magic happen. To be honest, my first reaction when I saw it was, oh, we made the tournament. I mean, this is our first time being in a tournament in the Porter Mosier era. So we're just sitting here like, hey, we're just glad that we got the invite. The other thing is that it's like, well, why this year compared to last year? Because last year we were 20-12. We didn't make the tournament. This year we're 20-13. We make the tournament. And I'm wondering if it's that SEC bias that everybody talks about, because I feel like it's definitely the love of the SEC, and ESPN just got to put as many teams in there as possible, or we just bring eyeballs. I don't know. But then when I saw it was UConn, I'm like, oh, great. We played defending champs. That's awesome. But this isn't the same powerhouse as it was last year. You can see there's a big refresh of players. Things haven't gone the way that UConn has done the last couple of years. So I was like, okay, we may have a puncher's chance, especially when I saw that spread drop.
Yeah, no, I think, what my initial reaction was, and I joked around with this with a buddy of mine the other day, is, oh man, maybe we can get some revenge for the Fiesta Bowl loss in 09.
Wait, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's actually a very good point. I didn't actually think about that part of it. I mean, this is a revenge game. You gotta go out there and you gotta go out there and let them know, hey, this ain't gonna happen all the time. We're gonna get our revenge.
No, and everyone's all jazzed up about UConn football, but this is not a football podcast because you guys own that sport, and compared to us at the moment. So but also too, like, I'm a stats nerd. I devour a bunch of this stuff because it's kind of how you form your opinions and or at least use it as a tool to decide whether you're going to bet on something, whether you're going to pick your favorite team in a win. And when you look at these teams statistically, they're kind of identical. They have each team has weaknesses. Each team is very good offensively. Each team is porous defensively. Their net rankings are similar. The net for Oklahoma is 43. UConn is 32. The strength of schedule is heavy on Oklahoma because they played an SEC schedule and ton of quad one games in there. What's your overall sense of this game when you kind of break down some of these stats? I mean, 14th in offense for UConn, 21st in KenPom for Oklahoma. So they're kind of a carbon copy of each other.
Yeah, they are. They're. It's very interesting to see that the committee actually got, I guess you could say, 8-9 right. Because you want some of these teams to be balanced when it comes to, especially when you get to the middle of the pack. You want them to be similar in a lot of capacities to make it for more of an interesting game. And that was the one thing I was actually impressed with that matchup. And as you mentioned these stats, I did some looking up on them myself because I kind of get into the weeds as well. But that was the thing that jumped out to me. I'm like, okay, you actually matched up teams that are similar, both not very good at rebounding, very solid offenses. Defenses are, depending on the day. So to me, it feels like it's going to be one of those bipolar games because truth be told, we truly don't know which one of these teams are going to actually show up in this game. It's been this way most of the season. Oklahoma shows up and knocks off Michigan, Arizona, then they forget how to play basketball when they get into SEC conference play, which has actually been the name of the game for the Porter Mosier teams. And then for UConn, you all, back-to-back titles, playing exceptional basketball. This year is just like, this isn't the same team we see. It's like the refresh hasn't come through for you all like it typically does as fast. So for us, I'm very intrigued to see which team actually learns how to box out and get rebounds and who actually plays really good defense. I think the team that plays the best defense is probably the one that's going to end up winning this game.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. And I think obviously we're going to get to the freshman matchup here after the break.
Yeah.
But, I think if you break it down, actually, let me ask you a question. In terms of the way Porter Mosier structured this team, obviously you have Jeremiah Fears, who's an incredible freshman. How did he structure this team? Like, are they mostly transfers or people that he brought in from either freshmen or redshirt sophomores, et cetera? I'm just curious because as far as the breakdown, you can look at a roster, but I can't necessarily. I guess you could tell, but I'm curious from your perspective, how he structured this team. Because it's playing its best basketball right now.
Yeah, and this team, his teams have a tendency of being really good in non-con and then forgetting how to play in conference play. And I think that's the thing that upset me the most about this season is this is our first year in the SEC. So technically this is kind of like non-con basketball every single game this entire year because we don't know these teams. They don't know
Fair.
us. We literally is our first year here, and we still could not figure out how to keep the momentum from non-con. But to answer your question, the way it seems like with Porter's teams, they're mainly transfers. Every year, it's a massive refresh of players coming in and out, and then you get a couple of freshmen that you hope will hit. And luckily, Jeremiah Fears, and we'll talk about that after the break, finally, we hit on a really good one. And I was actually kind of surprised that we was able to land him, and he's actually exceeded all of my expectations. But most of the team is really built a lot out of transfers. That's kind of one of the big complaints that I've heard from fans about Porter is that it doesn't feel like he can retain guys. It's like he get them in for a year and then sometimes two, and guys is like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of this and I'm going to get out of here. And so we're hoping that we can see some retention besides your one and dones. Unfortunately, in college basketball, you kind of have to have some one and dones in order to be successful, especially deep into the tournament. And so you're going to get a few of those, but your goal is the guys that are going to remain in college. You want to get your team to where it's more of a veteran type team because those are the ones that typically make a longer drive into the tournament, especially when you're not a traditional power in basketball.
Yeah, it's totally fair. Your fans should probably give him a little bit of a break because every team deals with the refresh every year now. It's almost like if you listen, Dan Hurley was on 60 Minutes saying that 50% of his team has got one foot out the door too. So it's not true. It's not anywhere. It's not just in places that aren't traditional powers. It's everywhere. And you embrace it or you don't, and that's the way college sports is now. I'm sure the football team has plenty of refresh and every year. So I'd imagine basketball needs to adopt that as well. All right,
I totally agree with you there.
We're gonna take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about this freshman face-off between the fantastic Jeremiah Fears and the monster that is Liam McNeely. When we come back after the break.
Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. Personally, I like the all-in-one convenience because instead of just juggling all these crazy apps out there, I can just use Monarch to check my finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONCollege at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONCollege for half off your first year.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our folks over at Game Time. Imagine watching your favorite team live, feeling the energy of the crowd, and witnessing unforgettable moments. There's nothing like experiencing a big game in person. Getting tickets shouldn't be stressful. That's where Game Time comes in, making it easier than ever to grab last-minute seats at unbeatable prices. Their Game Time Picks curates the best deals for the best value to tickets to sports, concerts, comedy, theater, whatever it is you're looking for. And they've got the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% the difference of your ticket. With seat views before you buy, no surprise fees, and a lowest price guarantee, you can book with total confidence. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. That's LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And just like that, we're back with Jay Smith of Locked On Sooners and Unfair Sports. All right. So tell me about Jeremiah Fears, because I look at him as a little smaller version of Trey Johnson. That would be my comp. You know, I think in particular, if I'm looking at teams that guys that he's played, like we played, like who can UConn go, okay, we played against this type of player. And that's who Jeremiah Fears reminds me of. He's 6'4", 100 and probably 75 pounds soaking wet. And
yeah.
And then, you know, Trey Johnson's a little bit bigger, but, you know, both are traditional 6'4", 6'5", just bucket getters, shooting guards. So talk to me about Jeremiah Fears and what UConn fans can expect, maybe in a nightmare, or how we're going to stop him.
No, you're 100% right. The big thing about Jeremiah Fears is, as you said, he's a bucket getter. That's his strength. Even at his slight size, at that 6'4", like I said, 182, maybe soaking wet.
Yeah.
You know, I like how generous we are about weights on some of these kids. When you look at him in person, that dude's frail. We know that he is nowhere near that size. But I digress. You're going to see a dude who's going to get buckets. And so for UConn, they've got two guys to look out for, him and Jalen Moore. But with Fears, he's going to put up some shots. He's going to find a way to get to the bucket, and he's going to put up just shots. No matter where it's at, he's going to put it up. Granted, the question is going to be how many does he make or miss, because he plays like a true freshman on occasions where he'll get on some cold streaks and he'll just miss just about everything. I mean, the Kentucky game, he was 2 for 11, and I believe he started that game like 0 for 7 or 0 for 8 from 3, and it's like, bro, can you like calm down on the 3-pointers? Can we get some more better shots from like the inside or whatnot? And he was trying. He put up 22 shots in that game, which was that was a season high for him this year. So his goal was to really wheel this team a little bit deeper into the SEC tournament. And that's the one thing that UConn, I expect Dan Hurley to pay attention to and find a way to get the ball out of his hands as often as possible, because he will shoot this team as far as he possibly can get them. And we kind of talked about this in the green room. This is that game for him that he's going to have to figure out how to propel himself up in the lottery conversation. He's already a lottery pick talk right now. He's looking like he's top 15. If he wants to get top 10 guaranteed or something, he's going to have to make some sort of a run here in the tournament. This is the moment where NBA scouts look and say, okay, what are you going to provide when things are tough, your back is against the wall, and no one believes in you? This is one of the opportunities for him to really propel his lottery, his pick position or whatnot. But I also want to hear about Liam McNeely, because I know Sooner fans have been wondering who is the player that the Sooners are really going to have to focus on. I know he's one of the 3 players averaging 14 a game there at UConn, which that's a nice balance to have when you have multiple guys that can put up buckets and get you consistent points. So tell us about you guys, freshman phenom, and because I know that he's also a top 15 pick right now.
Yeah, Liam's interesting because he's 6'8". He's a full 6'8". He's a freight train. You know, he's not. I wouldn't consider him. Let's put it this way: I wouldn't consider him fast, but he's quick. Like there are. He's got great handle. Like for example, like there's a great picture of him or video of him in the Providence game where he just crossed the dude up and the dude fell down. And he just like looked at him and shot a 3. So like. He's got swag. He's not afraid of the moment. You know, I know after they lost to Creighton last Friday night, he was probably the most pissed of anybody. He's super competitive. He wants to make a run in this tournament. He came to UConn to win a championship. He didn't come to UConn to, make the tournament. Yay. And just kind of get, like I'm being serious. Like he is a, and I'm not saying this anything negative towards Jeremiah. Like I get it. Like you want to improve your draft stock. But I think Liam would literally rather score 2 points every game and then make the Final Four than him have 30 on Friday night and then them lose, because then he's gone. So I think that's his mentality. What you're going to see a lot of is him in middle ball screen with either Terrace Reed or Samson Johnson, where he's going to get downhill and kind of facilitate the way like a point forward would. I think you're going to see a lot of that because of, Oklahoma, their 2-point percentage on defense is 326 nationally. And they don't have a shot blocker. So you're going to see him attack the rim a lot and kind of try to get through contact and try to get some and ones. But then you got to deal with solo ball too, because so you can't this is the question I was going to ask to you is it's almost the same, like I said, we're mirror images. How good defensively, how much of attention to detail are each of these teams going to deal with when you have guys who are going to penetrate and get into the paint touches? Where are you going to just go, okay, we'll deal with that, or are you going to overhelp, and then we're going to see kickouts for threes? Because we know Oklahoma can shoot it. We know they have other guys other than Jeremiah that can shoot the three, and UConn has guys who obviously can shoot the three too. So I'll flip that back to you: is even though you're going to get a lot of that from Liam, where he's going to try to attack the rim, he's also going to be looking for guys to help too much for lob dunks and kick out threes. What do you see from Oklahoma? Like, is that some part of the game plan too for Jeremiah to penetrate and get others involved, or is he a one-man show?
No, and that's exactly like I said, it's very impressive that the committee put these two teams together, because that's really the way Oklahoma plays. Even though I point out like Jeremiah Fears will shoot you in and out of games or whatnot, but his goal is to will the team as much as possible. But on top of that, he kicks out for threes quite often. You got Jalen Moore, who also gets out there. I mean, Jeremiah Fears also he averages 4 assists per game on top of his 17. And so he's out there, he's dropping those passes or whatnot. Jalen Moore will do something similar. And then he'll get it out there to like Bryson Goodine, who had a couple of games where he was hitting some massive threes, or he would just get hot on threes and just keep shooting them. And so you'll see that type of balance also with Oklahoma. It's going to be a driving kick out, because you know that teams are going to collapse when they see Jeremiah Fears, because he has no fear when it comes to going to the rim. And so because of that, Oklahoma takes advantage of that. They'll go in and they'll dish out, or they'll drop it down to like Sam Godwin and hopefully get him in for a quick layup or something within the post. So you'll see a lot of movement, a lot of screens at the top of the key. So you're going to see a lot of, just pick and roll or pick and fade. You'll see a multitude of that with this team. So it's probably going to be truly a mirror image of what you're going to see with UConn, which is, like I said, probably the most impressive thing that this committee has ever done.
I haven't done a ton of like advanced scouting, meaning I haven't watched a ton of like Oklahoma film or anything like that. So I'm going to ask you this question: like when Oklahoma's in pick and roll, how does Jeremiah or anyone that's in, because I'm assuming it's going to be him most of the time.
Yes.
But like, how does he handle pick and roll defense? Like, because UConn is, depending on who is in there, they both typically aggressively hedge, whether it's Samson or Terrace. And, they're big guys. They're going to try to get in his face and those quick doubles where then they're chasing back on defense. Like, how does he handle that versus kind of drop coverage where like he can kind of, facilitate and kind of see, okay, am I going to do like a little teardrop? Or am I going to kick it back out? Like, how do you feel like he handles that?
To be honest, I think it's kind of so-so, in my personal opinion, when I watch him play. He averages 3.5 turnovers a game. So teams are forcing the ball out of his hands, mainly because he has the ball in his hands so much. But when it comes to the pick and roll, whenever he sees a trap coming in, he does drop back pretty well and distribute the ball to where teams have to recover from it, and which leads to some open shots. It may lead to a drive by someone else, like a Jalen Moore or Bryson Goodine, or they get the ball down, like I said, to Sam Godwin. But he does a really good job of avoiding being trapped and actually turning the ball over like crazy, while at the same time he gets a little careless with the ball on occasion. And that's just my thoughts on it. Now, is he truly that bad at that? No, not really. I think that's where his lottery status comes in, is just his ability to handle the pressure that comes to him. But he does go in and does a really good job of making sure that the team he can distribute it from especially a double when it comes to the pick and roll. But he also plays it well. He'll play across it twice and then go straight and drive straight to the goal and get the defense to collapse and then flick it across the court on one side or behind them and keep the ball rotating. And so the team has done a really good job of moving the ball overall. But yeah, it's kind of it's a mixed bag with him sometimes to me when it comes to the pick and roll.
I gotcha. All right, we're going to get to the next break here and talk really about the X factors in this game, because the crazy thing is we've gone almost 20 minutes in this podcast and I haven't even mentioned Alex Caravan. So that's a good thing, I guess, right? We're going to talk about that and a couple other X factors coming up after the break.
Daylight savings snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, I know I am, 5-Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need just a little boost to power through. Whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, which I expect all of you to be doing, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with the busy day, 5-Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up wherever you need it. Me personally, I'm going to be watching college basketball, and because I'm going to be going nonstop, I gotta grab this beautiful berry and I'm gonna just, chug it right down. So make sure you head over to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your front door. If you need one now, just like the one I got in my hands, grab a 5-Hour Energy shot at your local grocery store or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized.
The NCAA tournament is here, and so is the Bracket Breakdown.
Locked On Podcast Network and Amazon Fire TV channels are teaming up to deliver NCAA tournament coverage like never before. Watch studio shows featuring former players and Locked On's local experts as they guide you through every upset, buzzer beater, and bracket matchup.
Stream it all for free on Amazon Fire TV channel. Search Bracket Breakdown to see it all for free.
It's your team every day.
All right, we're back on Locked On UConn. We're here with Jay Smith, co-host of Locked On Sooners, doing a crossover show with me. I mentioned this right before the break. Alex Caravan, who has had an up and down season, especially because of, and I say this because I don't feel like he's been terrible, but the standard that has been created at UConn, where every year a guy kind of ascends from, I was the fifth option on the team to now I'm the second or the first. And that really hasn't come to fruition. And I don't think it's ever been fair to Alex to make him out to be something he's not. Alex is going to be a pro, and he is a consummate pro, meaning, Jay, if you're the number one on an NBA team, you want Alex Caravan on your team because that dude is the best teammate. He's gonna put others in position to make your job that much easier. And he's just been around a bunch of young kids this year that really haven't, Liam's been hurt for most of the year. So I feel like his year has been not tainted, but like he hasn't shot the ball well because people are focusing on him, right? Yeah. And now he's got the full complement, so there's no more excuses. And he shot the ball a little better. He shot the ball better in the first round against Villanova in the Big East tournament. Decent against Creighton. If he starts off hot, I hate to say this to you Sooners fans, but you guys are in trouble because if Alex shoots the ball the way he has in the past, he's a 40% 3-point shooter. If he hits his first 2 or 3 threes, it's that 4.5 point spread is not going to matter. You know what I mean?
He's one player.
Yeah, that to me is the biggest thing.
Yeah, that's one player I was actually looking at was Alex Caravan. I was wondering, with him being the third guy averaging 14, if he's the hand that it gets hot, everybody's going to be concerned about. And I could totally see him being that X factor for you all. And watching what little games I've watched of UConn this year, I mean, one of the top programs in college basketball, so they're always on in some capacity. And yeah, it seems like it's kind of distributed. Him, solo ball, I always wondered, like, okay, there's a lot of balance when it comes to, your team having multiple guys that can be the one with the hot hand. For Oklahoma, the one big struggle in is either Jeremiah Fears or Jalen Moore, and that's kind of really all you get for the most part. But you do get some guys that will step up. Bryson Goodine, he'll go out there, like I said, he'll get hot from three, and then it's game over. For Oklahoma, that X factor though really is going to be Jalen Moore. We're going to need him to have one of his big games to where it takes some of the pressure off of Jeremiah Fears, because we know that UConn is going to focus their game on him. And like you said, with Liam, him dealing with injuries in and out of the season, he's a threat, but at the same time, you're kind of like, okay, which version are you getting him? Is he fully healthy, or is he dealing with still some lingering issues? So you're going to be able to play off of that and see what he's going to provide you. But for Oklahoma, it's got to be Jalen Moore. He is the most important component on this team outside of Fears. And if he steps up, like I said, it takes a lot of pressure off Fears being able to do what he does. Because the problem is Jeremiah Fears is still a true freshman, guys. That's just what it is.
Yeah, no, and you're right. Like for UConn fans, and this is something to watch for if you're a Sooners fan and you're worried about the game. You probably have the same, Sooners fans probably have the same kind of consternation that UConn fans do, because if you think about the X factors that UConn has, you have Terrace Reed, who is 6'10", 270 pounds, is an absolute monster. When he decides to play well, it's usually game over for teams that are the makeup of Oklahoma. Against Providence, he had 24 points, 18 rebounds, and 6 blocks. That doesn't happen every game. And then you have Liam McNeely, right? Yeah, we talked about him. Against Creighton, he had 38 points on the road, like as a freshman, right? So best freshman performance in UConn history. That includes Ray Allen. That includes Caron Butler. We could go. The list can go on and on. Right. Then you have like we said, we have Alex Caravan. Can he have a if UConn puts all of these quote unquote X factors together? That's what UConn fans are waiting for in March and saying, okay, there's the Dumb and Dumber line. So you're saying there's a chance. That literally is what UConn fans are holding their hopes on, that all of these factors, Alex Caravan, Terrace Reed, solo ball, goes off like he did against Marquette, having 22 points on the road. Like all of these guys have the same game together, and it's hopefully at Oklahoma's expense. Like that's what they're hoping for.
No, I totally understand that. And that's actually the same thing I look at like Jalen Moore. Like I look at like the Arizona game earlier this year. You had Jeremiah Fears, who was, cooking, and then Jalen Moore came in right behind him with 24 points. And used 7-15 from the field. He made a couple of threes, but Fears was out there cooking. That's when you started realizing, okay, this freshman might actually be special. But you couldn't overlook what Jalen Moore also contributed to the team. And that's kind of what's going to be critical in this game, is that two-headed monster there at the guard spot. You need to make sure that as long as Moore, like I said, contributes on top of what Jeremiah Fears does, I think it's going to be a fun game. Now, defensively, I don't know. I'm just going to be 100% honest, man. I kind of quit on defense with this team a while ago. I'm just hoping that they go out there and have a good time on the defensive side of the ball and make sure that they at least make it difficult. That's what we're going for here on this side of the table, because even though there's been some games where we had some really good defensive efforts, you still need to really lock in against a team like UConn, who, like I said, has history, who's won national titles and been a team that's made some elite runs. You've got to be prepared for that, and you've got to go out there and work hard. And so as much as I know Jeremiah Fears is going to put up those offensive numbers, I need the defense to kind of show up too, like just a little bit.
All right. Well, I agree with you. Let's see. We'll see what happens here. It's that time. Let's get a prediction. Let's get a prediction from you in this game. Oklahoma, this is going to be out Thursday afternoonish. So it'll be about 24 hours away by the time this is released to the world. What is your official pick for? Actually, I'm going to put this out probably Thursday morning, because I want people to see it before they get engulfed in all of the games.
Yeah, yep. Same. I'm gonna get it, have it ready for everybody Thursday morning to watch. Yeah, forgot to get a prediction and put that out there. Give me Oklahoma in an upset, 75-74.
Wow.
It's going to be a game-winning shot. I don't think this game gives us any type – this doesn't give me blowout feel. I think it's going to be one of those just back and forths. And I'm going to go 75-74. I think Oklahoma gets a game winner and finally gets some luck in the tournament.
I'm going to pause. What I will tell you is I've struggled going back and forth with this. I told you off air, if money was no object, I would take the points. I'm going to go UConn 82, Oklahoma 78. And
ooh, I'm here for that.
So I think Oklahoma covers that 4.5. I think it's 5.5 in some spots on FanDuel, our sponsor. And so, yeah, I think if everything goes the way we've been talking, I think that's what the score will end up being. There's a possibility, if you're a UConn fan, I'll give you the positive of potentially taking UConn in that 4.5 is if UConn controls this game, they're a good free throw shooting team. It gets down the stretch, you may get that backdoor cover where ends up being like a 7 or 8 point game, but in reality it was like a 1 or 2 possession game pretty much the whole time. Because we have so many new kids on the team that have never done this before. Even like Solo Ball, who's been on a national championship team, he didn't play much in the tournament run. He's seen it, but he hasn't stepped on the floor and been one of the guys, right? Yep. And so that's why I feel like this game is going to be tight, and I'll be there, Jay. I'll be in media credentialed. So I will be covering the game, and so hopefully, for my sake, I'm not crying in my Fresca after the game. We'll see. It's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm excited about it. I'm glad that we finally made the tournament for the first time. Like I said, like in the Porter Mosier era. So let's see what we can do with it.
All right. Well, this has been a crossover episode. Unfortunately for Sooners fans, you're going to have to listen to one of our best players outro and saying "Go Huskies," but that's what we want. We want you guys to stay locked on, stay connected. Make sure you check out Jay and all he does. And if you're a Sooners fan, hey, come visit us at Locked On UConn. If you're a UConn fan, make sure you subscribe to Locked On Sooners. Some good content there. And that's all we have for you today.